January 6, 2024, a video is uploaded to YouTube titled, Not a Halloween Hoax, Carnivore's Ice Age Weird Behaviors. The channel is titled, Glitch Asylum Forum Archive. The video description reads, Date last modified, 10/5/05. In 4:3 aspect ratio, the presentation opens with the blue background and white text of Windows Movie Maker, another hallmark of the mid-2000s. Consumer PC users in the early years of YouTube were new to video crafting and utilized immediately accessible and user-friendly software, making Windows Movie Maker the online beginner signature. Carnivore's Ice Age is a first-person hunting game released for Windows PC in January of 2001, developed by the studio Action Forms. Glitch Asylum Forum does not exist. And yet, the videos immediately after show a very convincing, active forum, including a live-action ad by the moderators in pure 2005 fashion. The channel description for Glitch Asylum Forum Archive says, Videos from my late brother's hard drive. Once in a while, you come across a horror story that's short in form, but long in creative dedication, driving home the alternate reality atmosphere of unfiction as much as possible, and doing all it can to deliver in its story beats. Glitch Asylum Forum Archive is more than a haunted video game subgenre story done very well. This is a haunting archived online in full awareness of the media and technology of its setting. If you want a creepypasta experience in video form, this is going to be one you remember. A playlist to the current run of uploads for Glitch Asylum Forum Archive is in the video description below. I'd encourage watching it yourself for total immersion and enjoyment, and in support of the creator's artistry in its source. Once you're done with that, we'll proceed with an examination of the quiet story points, how they connect, and the intelligence of the horror story design. At times, it is a quiet journey though, giving prominence to certain sounds. And to assist us in listening closely, this video is sponsored by Raycon. Back to school season has arrived, and as you're getting ready for the year ahead, Raycon's everyday clip earbuds are ready to be your audio companion, whether you're shopping as a student, for a student, or as part of the faculty. Engineered with nickel titanium memory metal used in aerospace for its durability and lightweight, you can trust the comfort and reliability of the metal clip while the open-ear design lets you be aware of your surroundings. Take calls on the go and listen to music, podcasts, and video essays in clear and balanced audio without interfering with glasses or piercings. Delivering 8 hours of playtime and 30 hours of battery life with the charging case, you can rely on a full day of activity to flow with anything you listen to. This time of year for me is full of movement, walking much more as the temperature cools, trips into the woods and interesting locations for video footage, and a lot of hands-on work sessions, all of which will benefit from a lightweight open-ear design. I'm grateful for all the time over the years Raycon has supplied the soundtrack to anything I'm doing, making musical imprints on my memories. And whether you're in the gym or traveling across campus, I know you'll experience the same. The everyday clip earbuds are the perfect back-to-school companion. Click the link in the video description box or go to buyraycon.com/nightmindclip to get 20% off. Again, just click the link in the video description box or go to buyraycon.com/nightmindclip to get 20% off. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring. Now, let's turn back to 2005. This is a little clarification and general idea of what's been going on, the video author writes. Again, this is not an October Halloween fad or anything. Sorry for weird cuts, just want to get to the point. The video moves to an unregistered hypercam recording of a desktop running Windows XP. You can catch a quick glance at everything here. Godzilla wallpaper, Windows Movie Maker and hypercam shortcuts, Flash, a few other items. Doom 3 might make an appearance at some point if it's important enough as a game to save the desktop. The game opens normally. The player proceeds normally. Text soon comes in. Like I noted in the thread, the whole game looks really dark. Messing with settings fixed nothing, and it ignores the time setting in the menu. That wording, the thread, connects to the video title format. Re is form and email vernacular for reply or response, indicating this video is a direct follow-up to a thread on Glitch Asylum Forum. That puts things into perspective immediately. A thread was opened about Carnivore's Ice Age doing something odd, and it's not a Halloween prank. and someone must have asked for video or further details. Change 1. Everything is darker. No settings fix will switch it back. The time setting in the menu is also non-effective. The player walks around a snow island area named Dry Notice Lake, and before long comes across an array of dead animals. He writes, "Last launch time, there was at least a few animals running around. Weird how this time they were all dead." Scenery cuts into a new area of the same map. The player explains why the map kept coming up. Green dots are supposed to indicate animals. Going to them now leads to nothing. There are several dots on the map, and animal activity is absent. The player continues searching and equips his weapon, but as he does, listen to the sounds compared to his movements. Something moved in the snow out of his vision as soon as he holstered the sidearm, and for a second after, his binoculars froze, glitching across the screen. Activity is occurring, but it's not the type he's motivated to write for. Travel continues until something else occurs. Strangely enough, there's a new red dot on the map. Usually that's for the player, so having two was weird. It doesn't take long to understand why the red dots multiplied. Back on desktop, immediate crash, with a glaring red and black screen ending the session. This figure, taking the place of the enemy NPC. Approaching like a zombie, this is a case of the dead coming back to life. It's the model for the Poacher, an enemy planned for Carnivore's Ice Age, but cut from the workflow. This appearing is a glitch beyond normal accidents of code and collisions. The shot fired at the Poacher results in a box of scrambled text with information we can put to use. A date, a time, and in the middle of the corrupted name field, I am here. The shot doesn't stop the approaching figure, as we immediately see, or the close-up under the resurrected Poacher. As for the player, they write, "Guess that was the red dot. Killing it crashed the game outright. Wasn't there last time and I've definitely never seen a thing like it." The player moves to open the game again, and writes what we see in the recording. "The executable file does not start anymore. Tried it a few times but eventually found out the files were completely trashed." Deeper in the game folder, he finds a text file, _RES. It's a mess of scrambled text, same as witnessed in shooting the zombie NPC. This text file is also the very one you could use to restore the Poacher in the original version of the game, according to Carnivore's Ice Age modders. Did the glitching start immediately after the player edited that text file to restore the Poacher, or is this a deeper anomaly? The player scrolls the RES text, making comments. Knowing what we've seen as a message in the mess already, I am here, let's take a look ourselves. Under the characters menu, we have the Hunter, the player figure, and below the Hunter, an entry titled VITR_RATH. Vidarath. Interesting. The player exits the recording in Hypercam, then closes the video with a question and a name. Anyone encounter a game-breaking bug like that? Mr. Psycho Magna. There are elements of the video to observe the player didn't catch. The time anomaly mentioned in the game is reaching outside of it. The desktop reads 10:12 a.m. when the video starts. Playthrough session lasts at least 2 minutes, 28 seconds, and we know there was a cut during movement on the map, so it was likely much longer. The game crash the desktop brings us 10:12 a.m. when the session started. Furthermore, the Poacher strike gives us the time 17:46, which would be 5:46 a.m. or p.m., nothing close to 10:12 in the morning. The date matches the one listed in the video description, 10/5/2005, as date, month, year. There is a major time discrepancy anomaly in this incident. In the channel timeline, we scroll forward for a moment to glitchasylummovie.wmv. Date last modified, 8/29/05, a few months before the Carnivore's Ice Age bug. It's an incredibly on-point stylistic amateur ad for the forum, deeply 2005 internet approach. when YouTube was heavy on sketch comedy and mimicry of TV ads. Footage of a user scrolling through the forum on a setting-appropriate desktop shows us how dedicated the website crafting is, and after a quick rundown of the rules, we see the names of the forum managers who act in the video: Linextreme and Mr. Psycho Magna. Mr. Psycho Magna made the Carnivore's Ice Age thread and the video of the glitch. The picture is now clear. This channel uploading the contents of a little brother's hard drive is a Glitch Asylum forum archive because the little brother is Mr. Psycho Magna. It is a memorial to a lost family member and his young life's work. The next upload brings us the Carnivore's Ice Age thread, posted October 5th, 2005, at 2:32 p.m. The date last modified isn't given in the video description. We watch through unregistered Hypercam at 6:05 p.m. It raises a question. Why is this being recorded by Mr. Psycho Magna? The game's graphics are bugged, all dark, even when messing with settings, and the game's included time settings, and all of it. Animals you would usually hunt in the game sometimes just spawn dead straight up. It's really inconvenient. I'll include a video file in a bit here and play again to see if it happens. The video arrives at 2:55 p.m. Let's perform a timeline with what we know. 10:12 a.m. is the time of the Hypercam recording, not the time of completion for the Windows Movie Maker video. Mr. Psycho Magna was recording the game that morning. What reason did he have for launching Hypercam at 10:12 a.m. to record a playthrough of Carnivore's Ice Age? Was it habitual, casual, or inspired by an earlier playthrough? 2:32 p.m. he posts about the glitch, then composes the video in Windows Movie Maker and uploads. That makes sense if he already has the recording from that morning. All you need to do is make simple cuts and text. He posts the video at 2:55 p.m., gets a reply that his game is freaked. A junior member, Hugo Man, is more helpful, suggesting a reinstall and a fresh copy of the res file to fix corruption. A newbie immediately steps in next with a screenshot of the listed characters, asking about Vidar Wrath. The first replier insists a ghost is in the machine. Further down, Joda77 writes, "This is weird because I was having similar issues on a completely different game and completely different engine. Maybe I'll make a thread too." The screen goes black for 16 seconds. When it returns, Mr. Psycho Magna is writing on January 13th, 2006, 7:59 p.m. "Back to Necropost because it happened again. I freshly reinstalled the game after last time and it had similar effects. I'll post the video, but I can't do much to discuss after because my dog went missing." The video follows immediately. Replies are written that day, so the closest time we can estimate as possible for this Hypercam video is January 14th, 6:05 p.m., though it's impossible for it to be this early in time. Mr. Psycho Magna's profile features a Facebook and Twitter icon. Twitter did not launch publicly until July of 2006, and Facebook did the same in September of that year, so this Hypercam can't be any time before autumn of 2006. The next upload is titled Counter-Strike Source Fatal Errors.wmv, a direct forum thread video. Video description marks the date as 10/10/2005, 5 days after Psycho Magna reported the Carnivore's Ice Age glitch. The user records a Counter-Strike session on the map Dust and selects 12 CPU players. A load-in screen bears a standard greeting message, then explains position on the Team Select menu. After making their choice, the players on the map. "You have spotted a friend," a pop-up reads in the center lower third. They move ahead of the crowd of CPU players and open a chat, using it to write to anyone viewing. It's Joda77, the user mentioning a similar glitch in their game earlier. "So I recently got this game and I don't know if this usually happens," says Joda, "but every time I try to play, the bots either stay in the starting area or don't move at all. Kinda strange." Joda moves around the map, then writes, "It doesn't happen immediately, but sometimes when I wander around, strange things happen." Joda goes back to wandering in the hopes a glitch will appear. And sure enough, something odd. Another group is stuck under a bridge. Hovering over them reveals the lower third message, "You have spotted an enemy." So even the enemy NPCs have been frozen. At 3 minutes 27 seconds left in the match, a new player enters with a garbled name. A few shots and the game crashes, and none of the shots were Jona's. It's almost as if someone struck Joda in the back, ending the match. A new server is created, same conditions, but the text on Team Select is quite familiar. Wow, Joda writes, seeing no NPCs at all. This is new. It's easy to consider the massive dead animals from Carnivore's Ice Age during the first video in comparison to this event. The loading condition of other living figures is broken. This is kind of freaking me out now, Joda comments, searching for anything new. You have spotted a friend, the lower third says, aimed at no one. That happened very fast. You have spotted an enemy fades in. Joda 77 reaches the top of the hill and turns. The figure from the previous video stands on the rooftop nearby. In an instant, it's attacking, up close in red and black. In the next frame, closer still, its head out of view. The sky goes black, and Joda's health immediately drops to 0. Game crash. This monster is now present in 2 games, 2 different engines, just as Joda 77 first hinted at. The next upload is Carnivore's Ice Age 2.wmv, last modified on the 13th day of an unspecified month in 2006, and the necro posting on the first thread occurred January 13th, 2006, writing immediately followed by the video. The introduction between the reply and the video opening is consistent. It happened again, Mr. Psycho Magna says. Broken for months. I was able to start it now. Carnivore's Ice Age 2 is specifically a modded sequel by the game's fanbase. It's 2:04 p.m., Hypercam active. Magna gets the game open and launches into a heavily distorted menu with a house in the background. Beginning the game, it glitches further, loading the field with garbled text. Everything is a mess, but the sections of screen changing are somewhat familiar, allowing Magna to know his movements. He loads into dry Notice Lake and crashes immediately to desktop. He repeats the process, and this time makes it to a new area covered in pine trees, Reveren's Bridge. Maybe it was the corruption of the previous map that caused the instant crash, as if the computer has the memory. Magna looks around a bit, finding the map is clear. Not even corpses are lying around. Another hard crash occurs, sending him to desktop. Take note that it's still 2:04 p.m., and we've been watching unedited Hypercam video for 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Mr. Psycho Magna goes in a third time, and the launch screen is now a mess. He goes through the motions, lands on the map, opens the map for the heads-up display, sees nothing, and begins to search again. A single dead dog, where the entity was shot. I got up, Magna writes. Something happened outside. The player position idles as the audio heard during approach comes back. A critical message box appears. Microphone failed to activate. Make sure you have a microphone connected to your device. I want to hear you. The game crashes. The desktop still reads 2:04 p.m. After a beat, Magna returns, ending the recording. His name scrolls as a credit for the last few seconds. What did Magna get up for during this moment? As he wrote online that day, immediately before providing the video, I can't do much to discuss after because my dog went missing. This is Magna's house, and directly outside it, in place of the entity shot, is a dead dog, the only animal on this map. Something drew Magna outside in the next moment, a commotion this entity wanted to listen to, and any of the raw grieving that would have come after. Hours have passed since the event, according to the times between recording and writing, but we know this isn't a case of the dog going missing. Moments like this in a horror tale are the ones you truly lean in for. To see the house emerge in the woods and the words fade in, "That's my house," is the exact kind of chilling that makes a scary story. The incoming entity immediately after, and the shock of its twist reveal, is the second swing of a 1-2 punch perfectly executed. And at the end, one more hit. The microphone emphasis in the error boxes, the monster looking to savor the suffering. If Glitch Asylum Forum Archive only played up into this part, it would still make an achievement of a spine chiller. Luckily, it isn't over. Funday.wmv was uploaded next, a compilation of photos from a family vacation. Mom always told me that he left too early, the video description notes. A lot of photos are shown of Magna and his brother, enjoying the time out together, playing in a pool at a hotel with a view. Some shots are blurred, others with odd moments of darkness covering faces and heads. And in the middle, an unexplainable picture, a red and black hued parking garage, with the silhouette of a monster lurking just past the fence. The death of Mr. Psycho Magna may have come in the same manner as their family dog. A last video, so far, is titled Piecing It All Together. It opens in 4:3 aspect ratio in black background, white font, as if carrying the torch of Magna's videos. I don't know where you people came from or who you people are, the uploader writes, but this is my new YouTube page. This does not affiliate with my work. If you were sent by my family, you need to stop trying to contact me. I never bought a single thing about what you all said about him. People don't just leave out of nowhere like that. Not in this town, not in this county, not somebody like him. Someone here has to make sense of all this shit, and it's going to be me. Sorry. A recording follows in present day, literally a day before the upload, May 14th, 2026, looking over the index of Matt R. Within the directory, we have a folder, West Palm Beach, and a file, westpalmbeachvacation.htm, most likely the vacation just seen, both marked 6/28/2006. Kodak/Lincoln appears to be the next folder, last modified in May of 2025. In May of 2026, CHKDSK, perhaps check disk, and Vidarath, the character name from the Carnivore's Ice Age file. The final item here is a video, rhgcmeetups.wmv, from January 22nd, 2006. Chances are good that will be a video to come next soon, as it's a week in the timeline since the last glitch event at the house. The video uploader moves the mouse to point at Vidarath, and the click distorts the screen and gives a critical error message. Vidarath is not accessible. 20 years ago is quite an old mystery to see unearthed, and it's obvious this older brother very much has his own life and might be estranged from his family. The investigation to find his brother's monster is underway, and it's clear this was no isolated haunting from Joda 77's activity. Vidarath, whatever it might be, may have haunted many. If you subscribe to Glitch Asylum Forum Archive, you'll get to keep updated on this digital haunting story. It appears a very promising time is ahead. dedication to effort and presentation, utilization of resources and media, and understanding exactly how much tension to make to deliver a scare. Seldom do we see authentic presentation like this, to the degree that it almost surely must be a working early 2000s PC with copies of these games. To discover that it's been a very clever graphics assembly would be deeply impressive. The appearance is so true to life and memory that it gives authenticity. The use of sound in this project is intelligent and appreciated. Silence in projects, used in a proper flow, lift even more than sound. Refraining from overplaying Vitarath's appearances and building into striking moments all the way into Carnivore's Ice Age 2 made for the best ground of amping up to a strong fright. Tension and lack of reveal in the time spent making that tension is what strengthens it, and it's especially effective when you don't see such a surprising twist coming. Displaying a monster in action showing its abilities is much more effective than anything written or spoken about them, and we learn a lot about Vitarath in a very short and terrifying moment. A touch of praise to the paranormal nature of time in the story. It'll be interesting to see where it factors, especially in such a quiet touch that requires your notice to acknowledge. Using old family vacation photos like this is a superb reality touch in fiction. Many times, it's looking at resources available to you as an artist, like the early YouTube channel makers scrambling to use freeware and native software that leads to invention, bringing fresh air into creative process. Glitch Asylum Forum Archive is also an excellent example of a haunted game subgenre tale that's fresh and nostalgic without making it a very prominent emotion. It is a byproduct of the creation. An old forum for game glitches. Smart. Simple. This is a story keeping to its devices, on one channel, with little communication to the audience. It lets the mystery exist to do its work. This is easily the type of story people get excited to see notifications from, and the potency of this scene is memorable enough to reference in future conversations on delivery in projects of this nature, and how to compose a damn good horror tale, period. Little touches combined of whatever you can do that's instantly accessible is the spirit of the mid-2000s. Windows Movie Maker, unregistered hypercam, and game footage are the ingredients in this project. Software that was in the hands of any creative person at that time, being used in a nostalgic throwback setting today. Who's to say this isn't a non-fiction project made in the mid-2000s and never launched until now? The artistry is strong enough that it appears as such. This illusion is good enough to imagine it in the era it comes from, and that is mighty dedicated effort. Many of the greatest stories and art experiences online are due to the enthusiastic inventor spirit of the day, not a mindset of complexity, feasibility, utilizing what's at hand to turn a basic toolkit into a mighty workflow. Art is possible with free software, a little self-instruction, and letting excitement and passion drive you to a destination. There is nothing in this project that's terribly complicated, only an allotment of time and dedication to understanding how to make it. A home printer and scanner and a smartphone camera could be used as elements of a studio. What might you achieve in a little ingenuity and the will to give it a try? That's all our time tonight, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thanks to the makers of Glitch Asylum Forum Archive for making their art. Thanks to Raycon for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all the supporters of Nightmind and the Nightmind Index for on-fiction projects. There's no need to simply wait for new updates and stories you enjoy. The index is filled with unique and subversive projects that may inspire you and provide new chills. You can find the link to the index in the video description and see names of supporters at the end of this video. If you've enjoyed this time, give it a like to increase discovery chances for other horror audience members, and leave a comment in your thoughts of Glitch Asylum Forum Archive. Subscribe to Nightmind for more journeys, and please enjoy visits into dark storytelling achievements already on the channel. Until next time, do see if that old PC is functional, brush up on your Windows Movie Maker settings, and sleep tight.